up on guys, Commander, and welcome to a new video inside of Halo Infinite, technically, although not. So what we've got here today is a fan-made Halo project by a YouTuber called Infinite Forges, and what he's been making is this thing called the Zeta Halo Experience. And what it is it's a section, or supposed to be a section of Zeta Halo, that's been built up in an open world environment to try and give us a glimpse into what it could possibly be like for Halo Infinite when it releases on Zeta Halo. So I thought, you know what, it's free to download. I've been following this actual project itself for quite a while. Infinite Forges has done a lot of different things, such as he's done a Warthog run, he's in Halo Infinite, he's done a Banished Fortress, and he's been working on this as well. He's done all sorts of other things as well. But this I've been following as well as all of his other stuff, and as of a couple of days ago, as of recording this video, he uploaded the download actual file for this into a Google Drive document for everybody to play. So the link to that will be down in the description down below. So I thought, you know what? Let's have a look, see what this is, because it actually looks really good, and get hands on myself for what it actually looks like. And my god, this looks insane. Like, if Halo Infinite is anywhere near this, if the campaign is anywhere near this type of quality, I'm going to freak. Like, it's obviously going to be better than this, because if this is, like, Infinite Forge has been working on this for about 3 months. So if one guy can do this in 3 months, I can't imagine what 343 can do in 6 years. Now, my only two minor things that I picked up on, I have played this a little bit before just because I wanted just to see how it would record properly. And the two little minor things that I did pick up on, one is that the AR's roughness is a little bit too low. So actually, if I like scroll past the light, it looks really like shiny. That's one thing. And also the hex walls have not got any normal maps, although they have got a little bit, but not major normal maps on them, so they are very flat. But the quality and the textures that's on them, like if I stand here, right, you can't really tell those hex walls haven't got any normal maps on them. It's only when you stand actually on top of them and see they're all one block instead of just separate hexagons that you actually notice it. And also with the AR, like, it's simple, something that I can just get past it, because the quality and the detail in the AR is so good anyway, I can just get past it. So there's small little things, but beyond that though, I can't really see much else wrong with this. Again, there's slight lighting issues around the map as well, which I will get into when we go past them, but that's less of the actual developer problem rather than Unreal Engine just being a bit of a pain in the backside with the way it renders dynamic lighting. But it looks so beautiful. The lighting is absolutely insane, and just the scale of everything. Like, you look at those mountains and imagine, like, you know, all we've got at the moment is just the AR. Like, it fires like this, right? It's an infinite, there's no reload animation, it's just an ambient fire thing. There's nothing actually to shoot at, like, it doesn't do anything. But if, like, I can just imagine, if this is the scale to what Halo Infinite is going to be like, I can't wait to get my grapple shot and just sort of do some acrobatics to get to the top of some of these ledges and just look over the entirety of Zeta Halo and just take some really nice screenshots about what and how the game is going to look, as just from like a top-down perspective, just like see over the horizon. It's going to look insane. And you sort of get that with this. Like I said, this isn't obviously going to be as good as Halo if it's going to be. Halo Infinite's going to be so much better than this. But this game is insane anyway. This demo is insane anyway. And if this is what Halo Infinite, if Halo Infinite is going to be better than this, I'm more than hyped for it. You know, just look over here. Like, you've got this, like, the beam tower. You just look at that in the horizon. You saw beforehand we had the little, like, Forerunner glyph thing in the over on the mountainside, and just looking like, you know, I was never a massive fan of the hex walls, because they look like Lego bricks essentially. It's like somebody got a Lego set and just pulled a chunk out of a Lego set and just had it like floating. But looking at the way it's integrated into here, it looks like it's actually part of the environment and not just something that's separate. Like, it looks like Zeta Halo has literally just basically erupted itself from the ground up and is raised different parts to different levels, but it looks like it's part of the environment rather than just ambient, like, bricks that really don't look like they should be there and that look out of place. You know, this is a hex cave is what Infinite Fortress calls it. And if you just look at it, it looks so natural. And this is the thing, it's like, this is what I want the hex walls to be, rather than just be like ambient brick looking things that just look really strange and look really out of place. So again, you know, and this is the thing, it's like, this is one thing that really concerns me about Halo Infinite, is that like obviously we got to July last year, and one of the big things that was missing in that gameplay was actually the graphical fidelity. Like the textures were really bad, the lighting was awful, and it just made the whole game look really flat and dull. This is also what I mean by the slight lighting issues. Like the dynamic lighting doesn't actually, like, this is a problem in Unreal Engine 4 that it's got with certain lighting. Like I think there's meant to be like a point light here lighting up the mushrooms, but because of the way sometimes point lights only like light up halfway, I don't know why it does it, but that's not an actual developer problem. That's more of an Unreal Engine issue. But the problem that I fear with Halo Infinite is that like we've already solved one big problem that would have plagued us at launch, and I fear that because we haven't seen too much of the campaign yet, hardly at all, aside from that we've seen obviously cinematic trailers and things like that, but we haven't actually seen any gameplay before, aside from what we saw in July last year. I fear that they've missed something that is going to be so commonplace in most games that they have just missed. Like, I'll give you an example. Halo, Watch Dogs Legions, I really enjoyed that game. I was really pumped for it. And as a game, it works really well. And it's got this really great mechanic where you can literally recruit anybody that you want to into your Halo game. Sorry, into your squad, should I say. Instead. Into your, like, Watch Dogs squad. And that's really cool. That's a really good feature. However, the one thing that it did lack was proper mouth movements. And the lip syncing was just god-awful at best. You know. And sometimes it just didn't even work. And that's what, and you know, for a game that has such big mechanics, to get something so simple so wrong, it really took me out of the experience of Watch Dogs Legions. Again, like, I completed the game and it was really fun to play. And again, I'm not saying it was a bad game, because it wasn't. It's a really good and enjoyable game. You know, I had endless hours of fun, you know, sneaking into Scotland Yard and things like that, and just being like a bit of a prat around Scotland Yard and that, and, you know, going up to Big Ben and like Parliament and Westminster and things like that, you know, or like these big monumental buildings and whatnot. But the problem is that just simple little things that really should be there for launch and should just be there anyway, regardless, in any game, launch or not, is just not there. And, you know, obviously that's not a problem with Halo Infinite, because we've seen before with gameplay that we've seen, like with cinematics and that mouth movements and lip syncing is not a problem at all. But we've already seen one of the like lack problems like Watch Dogs Legions has in Halo with the graphical infidelity, and that then but we've actually fixed that. But then that makes me wonder, well, what else is there that we have to see that we haven't seen yet? You know, what have we not seen that's actually going to be like, well, hang on a minute, that's really drawn me out of Halo. That Halo experience, because they should be here, but it's not, you know. So that's what makes me wonder. That's what I wonder when I play things like this. You know, like this game, obviously it's not perfect. There's no reload animation. There's no, you know, you shoot endlessly, you know, and whatnot. There's no actual sprints. You can't throw grenades or anything. It's literally just an experience to walk around. That's literally what it is. But it's the idea that this is actually what we're going to experience on Zeta Halo, and it looks insane. It's such a good, like, visual, like, demo. Like, if this is what, like, if 343 came out and said, we're going to release this, like, something that looks like this, obviously not this exactly, but let's say they release this kind of thing as, like, a demo, I'd be perfectly happy, because I'd be very happy with the way that this looks, you know. But it just makes me wonder. You know, they haven't shown us a lot as far as gameplay is concerned. They've said they will show us gameplay before launch, but it does make me wonder if they haven't shown us much gameplay yet. What are they hiding? You know, and I don't want to boot up Halo Infinite, get through like the first 2 missions, and then see something that I'm like, my God, that looks awful. That's really drawn me out of the Halo experience. You know, again, if it's something simple like a couple of VFX don't work properly, or like there's a section at the start in the latest Halo Infinite gameplay, like cinematic, where Chief says something stopped your deletion. If you listen carefully, after that line, you can hear Steve Downes breathing out.
Something stopped your deletion. We need to find out why.
As if they forgot, they didn't cut. They cut that audio file a little bit too long. So he says, something stopped your deletion, kind of thing. He breathes in or breathes out. I can't quite remember what it sounds like, but he breathes afterwards. It's like they cut that little bit of audio a little bit too long. So little things like that I don't mind at all, because I can get past that. Like I said, I only noticed that after like playing the game for like, I don't know, sorry, watching the demo for like after like 5 or 6 times. So it's only when you watch it carefully do you actually really see it. But the problem then shows itself as what, like, is there anything majorly big that we're missing? You know, is there anything that's like, you know, whereas if, let's say, the weapon, like, just think simple things like weapon imbalances and that I can look past easily. But if there's something like the AR is really weak, it doesn't work properly, or the animations look really stiff, you know, or like the eye movements don't look very natural, or I don't know, some big VFX like explosions, where an explosion is supposed to be, you can quite hear a sound for explosion, but the actual VFX doesn't show up. That bugs me, because that is something that's big, that is supposed to immerse you into Halo, but is not there. So that's what I feel when I play this. It's that, like, this looks insane and this looks really good, and Halo Infinite is obviously going to be so much better than this when it launches, but it makes me wonder what we are actually going to miss, you know, because developers spend so much time putting these really kick-ass like mechanics, like Watch Dogs Legions. I bring it back because it's the most relevant thing I can think of. Watch Dogs Legions brings in these massive, like, cinematic and really good gameplay mechanics, but then you get like the mouth movements that just don't work. Like we've seen what happened with Battlefield 2042. You know, they've made this massive multiplayer only game, and they didn't include a campaign purposely so that they didn't include so they could work on the multiplayer. But looking at the demo, it's awful. I've watched the Axeman's video on it and all the glitches and bugs that he found, and that game is broken beyond belief. You know, and obviously Halo's nowhere near at that stage. Like, it's from what we've seen from the multiplayer, and also from the campaign demo we saw last year anyway. You disregard the texturing and the lighting problems, which obviously are now fixed. The gameplay is actually really solid in Halo Infinite from what we've seen so far. But it just makes me wonder, is there anything that they've not included that is going to be, or have done a really shoddy job on, that we haven't seen, that we will find out for launch, and that point is actually too late. So, you know, but anyway, that's sort of all I've got time for in this video here. Again, this is actually really insane. Like, I've had to play this a second, I'm having to play this a bit of a second time because the game has a timer on it, so when you reach a certain point it times out and it exits itself. But it just looks insane, and we see, just in a second, you'll see Banshees flying over. You'll see it, it'll happen in a second. Where is it? It'll come in a second, it'll trigger in a second. Come, where are you, Banshees? You saw it before anyway. There's a Banshee fly over you, they literally fly past you. You see like you saw a, there it is. There you go, 2 Banshees flying across. Then you also see 2, you'll see a Phantom, and you'll see some Sentinels flying past as well earlier. And it's those little things that make that I really hope that we see a lot of in Infinite. You know, just seeing like ambient things flying around, like, you know, Banshees doing patrols that you can, let's say, if you time it right, you can grapple onto with your grapple hook, and you can, you know, hijack it with your grapple, and then you can take off and fly across the Halo ring. That's what I really want, because it's that sandboxy feel. You usually just like the NPCs that are just ambiently doing their own thing. That's what I really want to see in Halo Infinite. And the more I see this sort of thing, and what, you know, this being just a glimpse of what we're actually going to see in the official gameplay, So, well, as a non-official gameplay, obviously this is not actually official, but from what we see as non-official gameplay, and then what we see in Halo Infinite, I'm just so pumped for it, and I can't begin to describe how hyped I am for the game. But then I do also think here, is there something that 343 is not telling us about what's not going to be in the game that really should be there anyway? But anyway, we'll find that out for launch if we don't find out sooner. So anyway, that's about all I have time for in this Let's Play video here. I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. If you did enjoy, don't forget to smash that like button and hit the subscribe button for more awesome gaming content. Again, the link to this video will be down in the description down below, as well as a link to Infinite Forge's YouTube channel. I highly suggest you check this out because it is so good. If you want to see a first-hand experience of what Halo Infinite could be like at launch, to play and to feel and to walk around, give this a shot. It's free. It's 100% free. The file is about 11 gigs in total, so if you haven't got very good internet, just be aware it will take a while to download. But I highly recommend it. It feels, it looks, and it sounds so good. So that's all I've got for today. So I shall see you all later. Bye.